Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of March 24th, 2024. March Madness has taken us all. There was going to be actual March Madness tonight, y'all. And that's that San Marino almost won a soccer game. They tied. They drew St. Kitts and Nevis. They lost.
So close.
It was so close, and San Marino wanted it badly. That means they are going to go 2 decades without having won a game.
Oh.
This is their 6th draw in that time, so this is doing better. San Marino they're not built to be good because it's the top of a little mountain in Italy with 60,000 people, I think. St. Kitts and Nevis is a pretty good Caribbean team, so good for San Marino. Sorry they couldn't make it happen. That would have been real March Madness. I said that if that happened, I was going to get a San Marino jersey. Then I realized whatever size that I need probably isn't available in San Marino. I'm not sure that they make big American sizes.
I bought a Serie A jersey once for
How many
Sassuolo.
X's? How many X's?
So I got 2 X's. And it's still too tight.
It's real tight. Yeah, it is.
It's just y'all, I'm going
to be honest here. Commish, by the way, is looking very good because he's been taking care of himself. Mm-hmm. But Commish is not a big dude. He's a large dude, but he is not a big dude. And 2X, yeah.
Yeah, so I got 2X, and this thing is just
Skin
it
tight.
Is snug.
Yep.
I mean, it is wetsuit tight. Is so
like somebody poured you in there like pancake batter?
I mean, really, it's just there is nothing left to the imagination.
I have contemplated getting a jersey. How many X's should I go with just for safety?
I feel like everyone should go with triple X.
For soccer
European?
stuff especially, yeah.
If you get when I would buy an Arsenal kit or something like that, I have to at least 1 or 2 size up. Mm-hmm. I try to check the measurements and stuff, but everything's in centimeters because it's the metric system. But
I'll be damned if I'm going to do that math.
Damn the conversion
that
I can just do.
So I have to do math.
But,
that one's not even that hard. It's
it's not that hard.
Just
no.
over 2.5 centimeters.
Quite you.
No.
We fought a war, so I didn't have to do that.
Oh, that's why we did it.
Really?
Which war?
Yes, because the United States of America definitely doesn't predate the metric system.
Quite you.
Was that the thing against the pirates during the Jefferson administration?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Now I'm imagining the Boston Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party is just throwing the metric system into the harbor.
Throwing
we want this in pounds, not kilos. God damn it!
Throwing small cubes of what is it, cesium? What do they use? It's cesium they use. Yeah, throwing small cubes of cesium off just because you don't want that. Actually, dropping cubes of cesium in water would be a bad idea. Never mind. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the.
That sounds like a way to have fun.
Yeah, I believe it's one of those explodey ones. Well, folks, as always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I have Commish, Pitt Girl, Beth, and special guest Andrew, who's here to talk about basketball and other things, I guess. Andrew, how are you, sir? You're in Chicago?
Yes,
According to the flag behind you?
The center of the basketball universe is Chicago, Illinois, for some reason this week. Just chilling with friends, and of course, all we've been doing is watching basketball. It's been a whirlwind, very fun. We'll talk about all the details. One of my teams hired a new coach. We can talk about that if you want. It's not that sicko, but a little sicko. But yeah, we're here. We're thriving. The Yale San Diego State game is literally tipping off right at this moment. So 2 more games to go, and then we'll have our Sweet 16.
Boola boola, boola boola. Now, Beth, how are you?
I'm swell. I have decided to choose violence because that's what our women's basketball coach did. So, fight me.
Oh,
having a good day. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, girl, how are you?
I'm good. I was very productive today. So, shout out to me for making a bunch of foods. So,
Which
I always enjoy taking Sunday to make project dinner. I made chicken tikka masala and naan, and I have sourdough proofing on the counter, but I'm probably going to have to stick it in the fridge because I'm going to be too sleepy to bake it by the time that we're done.
Let me tell you.
I can be there by 12:20 probably if I leave right now.
It's going to taste better the longer you leave it in the fridge.
The naan is gone, but
Gone,
everything
non.
else is available.
Anon. The non is gone.
Commish, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It was an adventure-filled weekend. The in-laws arrived. Then I had a kid's birthday party. Then the
Your son went to town on that piñata. He destroyed it.
Yeah, he also chose violence. Your
No.
son and I have a lot in common right now.
I mean, he was like a pinata assassin. I sent that video to you folks, and that was
I need a clip of him like dead eye at the camera going, and I took that personally.
like he oh god, like the sound that when he struck the pinata the first time, I was like, oh god, this pinata's done already.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to like pull him off the pinata. We're like, we had to pull him off because let the birthday boy finish it off.
Yep.
It's just like
Yeah.
come on, let him go.
So, like, son of Commish, I've never seen a John Wick movie before I watched that video. Now I have seen a John Wick movie.
I mean, again, was I'm sorry, you could bleep my son's name. He was not a fan of Baby Shark, and it was a shark pinata. So I feel like he did take that personally.
So we start with our biggest news of the week. The Barkley Marathons came and went, and they had 5 finishers. That's
Insane.
5 people who came in under the 60-hour mark, 100 miles out in the middle of nowhere. And a course that they said was rougher. The people that ran it were saying, oh no, this sucks a lot worse. And
Yep.
5 people finished. The names that you need to know are Ihor Veris finished in 58 hours, 44 minutes. John Kelly.
He was a virgin, right?
Yes, he was. John Kelly finished.
That means first race.
Wait, of the race, or
The first race that
And
first
now-
Barkley
I don't
Marathon.
judge.
Now that he completed this race, impossible race, he can go out and get laid.
Yeah.
He has become a man.
L'chaim.
Man,
Mazel tov. John Kelly.
the Barkley
It's just a North Carolina bris.
Marathon.
Wait, that's not how those work.
No, not at all.
That is not how that works.
No, Beth.
John Kelly finished for the 3rd time.
God.
Jared Campbell finished for his 4th time.
Yeah.
And Greg Hamilton was the other male finisher. But the one that I'm super interested in is that this is the first time that a woman has completed the Barkley. Jasmine Paris, who occasionally goes by a hashtag small European woman
That's
in
right.
a lot of
oh yes,
She did it.
and small European woman did it.
It's been a minute since somebody broke Twitter in the good way, and it made me so happy to see it.
Yes, this broke contain from even like sporting circles because this was such a huge deal. She finished in 59, 58, 21 with 99 seconds remaining.
Hell yeah.
That
under the wire.
watching her come in and just
Yeah.
drape over the
She was done.
yellow gate and just collapse afterwards. It was amazing.
Art but Making Sports did the picture for it.
Yep.
Like her finish, which was incredible. I feel like us talking about it on the podcast, I don't want to take all the credit, but I mean, like us retweeting it constantly and just like giving updates and everything like that. It was nice to see like a bunch of folks just like getting into it this year.
Yeah, I do have to shout out a couple of people,
Yeah.
including Keith Dunn, who did all the updates. He was there on the ground. He's the one that stands there and sends out the vague tweets because he doesn't give the people's names either.
No,
And so you have to sort of just go by vibes entirely, which
Oh, yeah.
feels correct for this race.
apparently he was one of the pages this year too, which was hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
One of the pages on the trees that you have to pick up in the crazy race, which people on YouTube don't seem to believe that this race is real. YouTube
Commish,
truthers,
Commish, I am telling you
how dare they
Commish, I'm
not
telling
believe
you
our
right now.
our short?
I love you to death, and I know how thin-skinned you are against criticism on Twitter sometimes when people are like, actually, you need to never read YouTube comments. Like,
yeah,
this is just,
seriously,
like,
YouTube,
you do not need this in your life. This is
for
bad
whatever
for you.
reason, YouTube comments are just the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know
think
why.
what
Is
we
it more
need to
anonymous
do-
than other social media? I don't know.
We need to subcontract with message board geniuses
Yeah.
so that they can go in and they can be our comments moderators on our YouTube comments.
Yeah, Commish,
Because
this is, you
They're
can't.
the only people I can think of who are constitutionally set up to be able to handle this.
Shout out to the only place on YouTube where the comments don't suck, Nerdfighteria, DFTBA friends.
Yeah.
I would just also like to take this moment to let everybody know that we have never told a lie on this podcast. Very important to note, YouTube comment listeners.
Oh yeah.
We have never told a lie.
This is all
we
true.
would never tell a lie. It's all true.
I mean, the truth is funnier anyway, but
The truth is always funnier.
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, the thing is, like, so the reason I guess I went into the comments and unknowingly, because I am not a YouTube person. Like, I don't watch.
This is
anything
why
on
you
YouTube.
don't need. This is why you
And-
need to.
No,
you are
I
not.
just went in
You are
there.
not built for this, man.
I'm not built for it. I mean, Instagram's kind of rough sometimes too. So I mean, but like, really, I went in there. I was like, why is our video getting so many views? Like, this was like the most viewed short we've had by far. And so I was curious. I was like, what is going on? And then, I was like, oh, we got like 12 comments, and they were just like, there's no way the elevation's like this. She's lying. And I'm like, I wanted to defend Beth's honor. Like, in the video, I was like, no,
I don't have any of that.
I will. I was like,
It was an off the cuff podcast comment.
I-
Of course
no.
it's gonna be close.
and I was like, no, here's the link, here's the Wikipedia, here's the sources, and I'm like, and
You are
then
not.
like Jordan's like, you're fighting a losing battle. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
God, you are
I tapped
not.
out.
You are not built for this.
Don't make YouTube comment your battle of Thermopylae, please.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
I was just done. I was just done. I was like, he told me stop it. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna
The
stop.
hottest gates.
Jordan, I would like to request a Photoshop, which is the scene from 300 where we've got Gerard Butler with the sword,
Oh yeah.
Commish, and then the Persian horde is YouTube
Comments.
commenters.
Done. Done.
I was I don't know. Like, I'm not a YouTuber. Like, my son uses YouTube more than me.
The
And,
fact
I mean-
the fact that you even like went into that area tells me you don't use it enough to be able to
I
properly.
don't
This is
know.
the-
Do I need to go into the comment section and just start spouting off random things and making it worse? I will do this.
Yeah, that's
No, don't fight fire with fire.
it is a shithole. Like it's like YouTube comments are a known shithole.
Is it like Xbox Live chat?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no, God.
it's like 4chan but with slightly better
Oh.
interface. It's not
Yeah,
great.
I don't have time for that. Okay, never mind.
Put on your hazmat suit.
I learned my lesson. But I
Good.
was
My time
excited.
in
I was like,
Nines.
hey, a video's
God, you
doing
were-
well. I gotta check it out.
Here's what I think. So I just pulled up the video just so I can see the comments for myself. I think we just need to say flagrantly wrong things, and then that will drive engagement,
Yeah.
and that will
Mm.
drive our metrics, which is what matters. So
Yeah.
Nobody knows this better than Randall Monroe. Like, why are you still awake? Someone is wrong on the internet.
Mhm.
Exactly. So
Sure.
everyone, real quick, and then we'll move on. Say something that's wrong. I'm going to start. I'm going to say 2 + 2 = 69.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Aardvarks are marsupials.
Mayonnaise is good.
Whoa.
Oh, Dukes
Uh,
is coming after you.
yeah. Alabama's never going to win another national title. They're broken.
Oh man, Louisiana Tech is better than ULM.
Congratulations to Michigan State for making the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
No. I gotta take that back. I can't. Oh, that's gross.
It felt bad.
Oh God.
I also feel very
Ooh.
gross for saying what I said,
Ooh.
Commish.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm
I
fine
nailed
with
it.
it. It really should be true.
I do
Is it
need
a-
to go
Hey,
ahead.
girl, is it a consistency thing? Like, what's
Yeah,
the
I
whole-
talked about this on the food episode we did a while ago, but I'm fine with mayo in as an ingredient in things. Like, I love elote, but I hate it on sandwiches. It's just this gross.
Okay.
I do have to give a shout out for this upcoming weekend that the intercollegiate chess Final Four is happening,
Ooh.
and it is happening at UT Dallas. It is between UT Dallas, Missouri, Webster University, and UTRGV.
Oh, and Webster University. Are they they're the Gorlocks, right?
The Gorlocks, yeah.
That's right.
The Gorlocks.
Does everybody know what their mascot looks like?
That's
Is
right.
it-
Incredible.
Pop, drop, and Gore Locket. That was one of the name of our episodes, I think.
I
at one
I
point.
believe
We've
so.
talked
yeah.
about-
I
we've
remember
definitely talked
talking
about this before.
yes.
But anyways, that's coming up this weekend at UT Dallas. So I got locked into this thing. I didn't even know it was
Jordan,
happening. Good.
Let me talk to you about something a little bit later after the podcast.
Okay, sure.
But the people that make the chessboards,
Uh-huh.
they really loved our tweet and they want to make chessboards for us. And so I was like, okay, can we
let's
put
have
like our logo, like our saying on it, like yes, ha ha ha, chess. They keep trying to push checkers on me, but I'm like, hey, it does not go with the saying.
You can play checkers on a chessboard.
Yes, but I mean, like they want to put checkers instead of. I'm like, it doesn't fit. Like I can't communicate with them. But...
No, I think you are trying too hard. I think a checkers
Okay.
board would be perfect. Great.
Mhm.
Okay.
My brother
We'll
will
talk
tell
about
you
it
that
later.
you can play backgammon on a chessboard if you try hard enough.
No, you can't.
I have questions.
You absolutely cannot.
Again, if you try hard enough.
Apparently so. So yeah,
You
this
can
is
play a lot of games on a chessboard.
Is
Like
there?
any game that requires like you could play cards, any card game probably on a chessboard.
Oh, that would be a very bad game of Candyland. Very
Is there-
boring.
What is so like backgammon? Like was there? I mean, this is a bad dad joke, but is like I mean, was there ever like a front gammon? I mean, just
What is
Fucking
chess but a medieval
what,
game
what
of
is
life?
gammon?
Fucking
Like what?
hate
I mean, what is it? You hate me. That's fine.
as someone
Love
who
you too,
played
Jordan.
I played so much backgammon as a kid. Like that was my go-to like travel game with my parents, my mom.
Feudal Monopoly, king, queen.
Hmm
My favorite
Also
game was
hard to play Carcassonne on a chessboard.
Yeah. I mean, actually, you know what? That actually would be super useful because it would actually have outlines for the squares.
perfect.
I do want to celebrate. God, I hate to say this. I want to celebrate some Ohio State victories. Can I say these words?
Ew.
I know.
Are you
Ohio,
okay?
Yeah, Ohio State won the pistol championship for the 4th time in a row,
God
Oh.
damn it.
and won, more importantly, I think.
Shout out to my student who was on the pistol team. Hopefully you're listening to this.
There we go. And then Ohio State won the women's ice hockey championship today.
Dynasty.
So that's
While we're talking about hockey, men's hockey playoff set today. RIT won the Atlantic League. Get hyped.
awesome.
Woo! Woo!
Uh, Now I'm gonna have to say nothing nice about Penn State.
Ew,
I know.
Never do that.
Ew.
Penn State won their, I believe it was 4th consecutive. No, it was 3rd, but they won like 9 of the last 10 or whatever wrestling championship.
Hmm
Yes.
And they
But
Penn
you
State
have-
is very good at wrestling.
and they
Tell the
won.
people what happened.
They won the championship before the final day of the
Yep.
tournament. They had already done so well. There was no way anyone else was going to beat them.
That's insanity.
That's domination.
Well, I mean, it's what happens whenever a school looks around and says, what if we put all of our linemen into a sport where they'll actually be good at it?
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, it's just a change. It's a shift in priorities. And now their export can be winning again.
You're so mean. You're so mean.
It's great.
Never claimed it wasn't.
That's
So-
Cook.
So yes, they have won the wrestling championship. Congratulations to them. I am gonna have to start getting ready for our winter NCAA winners because we're almost at that point where we're collecting them. The men's basketball is usually the last one of the winter events. Y'all, I dropped this in the chat, but I want to talk about this. Our friend Shahan tweeted out about this. Do y'all remember this DeSoto offensive tackle, Byron Washington? I sent this out during the championship games, Texas High School Championship games, and he is a big dude. He's 6'8", 380. This is him lifting up another small child, it looks like. And y'all, he's going to Syracuse.
Interesting.
A 6'8", 380 dude from Texas. From like, DeSoto won the championship. He's on the state champion, and he's going to play at Syracuse. And he's going to hug Otto too hard, and he's going to juice him.
Fran Brown recruiting. Good job, Fran Brown.
Like, he's going to juice Otto with a hug. I don't think Otto is that constitutionally sound to take this kind of hug.
I assume that the instant after this photo was taken, he took number 11 and just like fucking caber tossed him about 85 yards.
See, I was thinking, is that worse, or is it just to set him down lightly?
This is like
I
the
was putting down
pre-yeet.
very gently.
Like yeeting him is bad, but if you really want to disrespect something, it's you lift him up and you just like lay him down like a 5-year-old. Like, oh no,
There.
no, Sonny, we're not doing that.
Well, what you
He
have to
pulled out a
remember
blanket and took him in.
about Otto the Orange is that that's a mascot that has been blessed at the National Cathedral.
It's
So
true.
I think Otto the Orange is up to the task.
A mighty fortress is our orange. Yes.
Or ready for
You can transubstantiate orange juice. Oh no! Holy shit! It is holy water. It's holy juice. He's been blessed. You squeeze him.
Oh.
Did anybody else see that Instagram thing this week?
No.
So there was someone on Instagram whose name I forget, and I'm sorry, who was asking, like, their new dinner party question is if, like, Christ chose to be remembered in bread and wine, like, what are the two things that you would transubstantiate into?
Oh.
Ooh,
It's an excellent dinner party question.
I like that.
I've given it absolutely no thought if we choose to answer it, so, like, I'm just as prepped as y'all.
I'm tacos and bourbon. Like that's just absolutely tacos and bourbon.
Jordan, you're not Fernet.
Oh, I am Fernet.
I would have said you were Fernet.
I'm Jaeger. Take this and drink of me and get bombed.
Take this Red Bull and take this Jaeger and drink of me.
That is
It's like, take these whip shots.
As Arthur holds up the whip shots.
my last supper metaphor is going to be dropping a shot of something into a glass of beer. This represents my everlasting life. That was Arthur just hammering a whip shot.
Just doing some whip shots on the pod. It's fun. It's March Madness, folks.
I've posted an extremely wordy meme in our Discord, which you should join. But the bottom one is that Mountain Dew and deep dish pizza can be consecrated for communion. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I think... Yeah, I'm Lafroig and Cheetos.
Oh yeah. You're really
Scotch
smoky.
and Cheetos.
Really
Ooh.
smoky. Really smoky.
Hmm.
Smoked Cheetos, is that a thing?
You can smoke anything if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a Traeger. I could try it.
yeah, get the smoker gun out.
I mean, like, what type of? I mean,
Please don't marinate Cheetos in liquid smoke, though. Don't do that.
Oh,
Is that what I was suggesting? Oh, I don't know.
that sounds terrible.
just gonna put like a whole bunch of Cheetos in like a pan and just get the Traeger on smoke.
No, this is the
for
quick
like
marinade. It's not the overnight
for like
marinade.
for like
but...
30 minutes. Just smoke.
Yeah,
Cheetos.
just get a little smoke in them, huh?
That's all right. You know, give
So
it.
Cheetos.
I mean,
How fancy would you feel amongst the other dads that come over to your house and you have dad moments and you offer smoked Cheetos?
have like a
wait,
Super Bowl
wait, hold
party.
on. Are you doing smoked Cheetos? Or are you doing like the stupid foodie thing where you have like the creche over top it and like you release the smoke
Oh yes.
so that someone can really take in the full Cheetos bouquet?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Mm.
God, I love the off
I'm
season.
trying to figure out which like wood would pair with Cheetos.
I mean, I think it is pear. Pear's nice with a good cheddar.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, like Texas is all about mesquite, like mesquite
Are
Cheetos.
Cheetos cheddar flavored?
They're supposed to be.
I mean, technically, I would think, yeah.
It's cheese.
They just taste like orange.
I mean, I
Cheese.
think that like Chester is heading you in a cheddar direction.
Yeah. I mean, I would be curious about a pecan smoked Cheeto.
How would you feel if I'm like, actually, Cheetos
Because,
is
like,
a
you know,
blueberry
you-
Stilton.
when you get the cheese ball? Like a lot of the times, the nuts on the outside of the
Mhm.
cheese ball is like the pecans and other various nuts. So a pecan wood smoked Cheeto
You know, it
does.
yeah.
does feel
Another
like it would
another
go well.
upscale Cheetos presentation would be to like get rid of the corn angle in the middle and just roll elote in that.
Ooh.
They have my attention.
I like that.
In the interim, I have decided that I would transubstantiate as cold brew coffee and pierogies. I will not accept any further questions.
That feels right.
I honestly think I'd have to transubstantiate to crawfish and rum.
Oh yeah. That'd be good. That'd be good.
Any of you
They-
idiots who are like, but what about hotel pizza? Guys, that's how you summon me from the dead.
I'm just imagining, like, you know, you go to church and you have a crawfish. Take this tail and pinch it. And then eat the
Wicked
crawfish.
for you.
And then suck the brains out.
Take the head and suck it. These are my crawfish juices.
This is no better. No
They're
worse
just-
than
Yeah, I know.
this is no worse than bread. It all works the same.
Oh,
Sorry, I was quiet for a second. So y'all reminded me of a crazy restaurant I went to once where a dude shot a vanilla bean with a laser to create smoke in a wine glass that they would then pour red wine into.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had to remember what the name of the restaurant was. It no longer exists, unfortunately. It was in Chicago.
Hickory smoked Cheetos.
Laser vanilla smoke. That's an idea.
This is what I think I've told you the story about this restaurant. It's really like up its own ass in terms of like it was great, but it was way up its own ass.
Was it that molecular gastronomy thing that was popular like 5 years ago?
Yeah, but this was like in the super heyday of it, and the place that invented a lot of the stuff was in Chicago, and so it was great. It was just really out there up its own ass. The dessert was a cookie that had a picture of Michael Bolton printed onto it.
Which one? Like the Office Space one or the other one?
No, the other one. Because it was called like the dessert was called like classic dessert circa 1991.
And it was a Michael Bolton cookie?
Yeah, it had some ice cream. It had like plain it was like plain vanilla ice cream and a like butter cookie that had a Michael Bolton picture on it. Y'all, it was weird.
When a man
I don't think I'm just thinking I was like when a moose loves a cookie.
Uh-huh. So
Tell me
our
how
I was gonna say Wheel of Morality.
without
God,
moose.
what was that from? Anyways,
Wheel of Morality?
yeah, what was that from? Was that Animaniacs?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say our Wheel of Morality keeps turning, but other thing, the coaching carousel, but not the coaching carousel, the athletic director roundabout. I don't know. We have a good name for this.
Cul-de-sac.
In and around the lake.
The Gravitron, 80 Gravitron. I don't know.
I like a cul-de-sac because then they all have to live next to each other.
Well,
Hold
so
One more thing, real quick. I just
go for it.
in my head. Mesquite smoked flaming hot Cheetos.
yeah,
So
of course.
that could work.
Nebraska got an AD because they took Washington's. And Washington's hadn't been there for that long. In fact, so the whole thing happens is that Nebraska's AD goes to Texas A&M.
No, keep going back.
Okay, so wait, back before what?
Tulane takes
Ohio State's
AD.
Okay, yes,
Yes,
okay, yeah. So
start there.
start Tulane takes
Tulane. I'm sorry. Washington takes Tulane's AD.
yes.
Then from that point, like Tulane took another, I think, AD from Northern Iowa again.
I think so, yeah.
Or they promoted somebody internally. I'm not exactly sure what occurred. I hadn't looked it up yet, and I'll be corrected later. But then Ohio State's AD. I don't even know what happened with Ohio State's AD. Like, did he like
Gene Smith
leave?
just retired,
It just retired. Okay.
and then Ross
And so-
Bjork took that job.
So Ross Bjork left from Texas A&M at that point. And then from there, Trev Alberts left and split the Trev Alberts March Madness Bowl. The Nebraska ladies won and the A&M men won.
Yes.
So like it was a split
So,
there.
so they moved.
But then Washington just hired this gentleman 5 months ago, and he's now at Nebraska.
And unfortunately, he is an example of someone who gave the Bobby Petrino, they'll have to take me out of here in a pine box thing. I forget what he said. It was like, I've had 3 jobs. This is my last one. I'm set.
That was
And
Tommy Tuberville, right?
Was it Tuberville? Okay, I can't remember who it was. But yeah, this dude said something very
Nick
similar.
Saban had the original. Like, I'm not taking the Alabama job. He took the Alabama job. He left the Dolphins.
And so yeah, this dude, we have again just this chain reaction of movement. And I want to say that if I'd had a new job for 5 months and was like AD in Washington, Seattle, my boxes aren't unpacked yet. So when someone offers me more money, I'm happy to move because I have not unpacked shit yet.
Like how much do you have unpacked at this point?
Nothing. 5 months
Just your
in,
raincoat.
five months in is my TV, a couch. If it's just me,
Dude's
like-
rock apartment.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude's rock apart.
It's a chair, a TV that's on something, maybe the floor.
Sad mustard.
How
Yeah. Oh yeah.
how
It's just
long
Some
would
Frank's
you have
Red
to
Hot.
have an athletic director job to actually get your stuff unpacked?
over a year. Over a year.
Are you doing like pod storage just because it's a lot easier to just be like,
Boxes
I
in
need
the
you to
house.
just take
Boxes-
the pod and put it somewhere else.
Boxes in the house.
They're in the
boxes
house
are all in
against the
house.
wall,
Yeah.
Okay.
unpacked.
Like you're
And-
sleeping on a blanket on boxes.
And then the things like, oh, I pulled one jacket out because I need a jacket, right? But I'm now draping that jacket when I walk in over boxes because I haven't come out a place to like hang things either. So I'm
Jordan,
just draping the jacket.
Are you the person that takes like 3 months to unpack your suitcase after a vacation?
Okay, so when's the last?
That's a yes.
Hold on. When's the last time?
Immediate
when's the
deflection.
last
Okay,
time-
so
No. I'm trying to think. When's the last time I actually used that suitcase? Because there's a suitcase in my bedroom that I know for a fact.
What's in it?
Oh, that would have been Christmas.
What's in it, Jordan?
That's 3 months ago.
What's in
I
it,
think
Jordan?
it's mostly clear now. There's no food in there. I'm good.
How
There's
much
no food.
alcohol is in there?
None.
Oh, he took that out right away.
Yeah. No, but I unpack like piece by piece. It's probably left in there is probably like
Some of us travel with like a stuffed animal. I assumed that you traveled with like Comfort Fournette.
no. Although that would actually be really good. But yes, I'm the kind of person that like leaves shit out for months.
He's noting that one for later.
We gave him an idea.
In the toiletries compartment. In a
This
three.
is fewer than
Under an ounce and a half, you
100
can take it in.
milliliters. Okay,
3 ounces of Fernet. Yeah, you can make a good drink with that.
That's enough for nut. Yeah.
Tactical Fournette.
I'll never forget the time I was flying home for break one year in college, and I had made myself like fraternity bottle margaritas, or it was something, gin and tonics maybe. It was awful. I think it was Sprite and vodka, if I'm being really honest. And I was like, I'm just going to surreptitiously take this on the plane in my giant ass Nalgene, because you used to be able to take things like you used to be able to walk through like security with liquids. And I opened it up on the plane, and the plume.
Oh!
I immediately covered back because I'm like, holy shit.
Did it make a
Everyone can
sound
smell
like a
this.
sound?
Yes.
Like you uncork liquid nitrogen.
I should have checked it. And a little bit of carbonation doesn't help, so it kicked it up too. Yeah. Oh, it was great.
And this is how young Jordan learned about air pressure.
I'm just imagining like the masks drop from the bottom. Hold on, let me turn on one of those
He's
vents
putting one on the
at the
Nalgene
top.
to cover the smell.
Let me turn on the vents like.
Gotta put your own on before you deal with the Nalgene.
Yes.
Oh,
gosh.
okay. Other
Good
thing.
had
news,
his own
kids.
flotation
Today we're
device.
learning about Bernoulli's principle.
Jordan had his own flotation device in the cup.
Uh-huh. It's
He'd
ready.
be floating away if he drank it.
I would like to throw out here other news, by the way, that UTRGV has changed conferences already.
Oh,
They were part of the WAC. They are part of the WAC. They were going to come into football in 2025. I think was when they're starting their football season. They were going to come in as a member of the United Athletic Conference, which is the WAC and the not Big
ASUN,
South,
I think,
ASUN,
right?
ASUN.
Yeah.
And
In
so
football.
all of a sudden this week, they announced they're going to the Southland, which
I mean,
makes a
kinda
ton
feel like
more
that-
sense.
It does. I mean, because you have Incarnate Word that's maybe like 4 hours away. You have Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The basketball
There's
only.
no one closer. There's no one that could be closer than Incarnate Word
No.
without
Well,
being in D2.
Well, I
because-
mean, Corpus Christi and basketball is closer.
In basketball, I'm
but-
talking about football.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking about
But football, like Incarnate Word, I mean,
Houston,
like Commerce.
Houston Christian, Commerce, Lamar,
Yeah.
Northwestern State, McNeese, Daiquiri Cats, and Nichols. Like
It's
that's
just basically like the LA Texas combo is the Southland Conference.
and this
really.
is way better for football than having to like haul your ass out to Utah.
Oh yeah.
It just is weird that they've already changed conferences going into starting a football program. Still
I mean, I
love
feel
their
like
stadium.
it makes more sense for them, but
Yeah.
And technically, they are in the Southland, so of Texas. So
Not that
it
not
works
that
out.
has ever mattered before.
No, it doesn't. But I feel like a conference, like a regional conference, is kind of a novelty now. But like for these schools, which are not like really big schools, it makes perfect sense to I guess keep their costs low in travel and whatnot. And that's kind of a big deal for like a new program too, I would say.
Yes.
So
Hey,
you're saying
you got
that it makes sense for teams to spend less money to send their teams everywhere and like to have games where people can attend nearby?
I mean, it's again, it's a novel concept. I don't know why people in
Are you sure?
I mean, you know.
Okay.
I said something about Frontgammon earlier, so I'm really not that smart. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, I can also, Beth, I can see why you would be confused about having conference mates near you
Mhm.
because West Virginia doesn't know what that's like.
I have
No,
no idea.
no. I was close, right? Close.
Ish,
I
close
mean,
enough.
the heart is where Iowa
Closer
is.
than California to New Jersey, that's for sure.
I mean, you know, Piscataway to LA. It's got LA and Piscataway, right?
Maybe the
No.
problem is people are trying to like fly over the U.S. Wouldn't it? Maybe it's faster to go the other way. Someone should check.
Go under the US?
Or like the other way. Earth
Oh,
is
okay.
Earth round.
Oh,
Oh, I like the idea of us building a series of tunnels, though.
the United States Channel.
Yeah. That's an awful set of words. Channel's an awful word, anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
Wasn't it like a movie too, or was that a fake Seinfeld movie?
Probably a fake Seinfeld movie.
I think it was a
Sounds
fake
fake.
Seinfeld movie.
Commish, did UTRGV hire Mark Adams? Have we confirmed this?
Their
Okay,
website sure
so
did.
what I saw on Twitter, which, you know, not always the most reliable source of information, was that they put him on the website. So then I Googled Mark Adams RGTV coach, and it's there. It's just
Excuse
his
me.
name.
That's UTRGV.
UTRGV.
That's a lot of
are
letters.
difficult.
I know.
You Google his name and the school, and it just says Mark Adams head coach, and there's no other information. So clearly someone in the HTML has already like posted that website, but there's no information, there's no photo, no nothing. So I don't know what's going on there.
Well, wait.
It could be any Mark Adams.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a Mark Adams we think is
The thing is,
the
that
guy?
the thing
Yeah.
is that this Mark Adams. So this Mark Adams got fired from Texas Tech for saying some really heinous shit.
Yeah,
And-
he was quoting the Bible, but apparently used the slaves honor and treat your masters well part of the Bible. So
Yeah,
that was pretty
always,
bad.
always one of the ones that you want to use when you're trying to fire up people.
Yeah, and
the
he
thing
is
is-
from
this-
Brownfield, Texas. So,
no, but not just that. This
Could be
dude
him.
coached at UTRGV.
yeah,
he
when it was
coached
Pan Am.
We coached at Pan Am, and so
Oh, okay.
so like there's a reason that this guy might be coming back there.
And I kind of get, now that you've explained what he's done in the past, why UTRGV might want to like sneak this out.
Yes.
So you've got two Mark Adams according to Wikipedia, one of whom was born in May of 1956, the other one was born in June of 1956. The first one is the former head coach of Texas Tech, the other one is the former head coach of Central Connecticut.
But he stopped coaching in '96, and now he's the baseball coach at Miami University Middleton.
I see no
There's
reason
another
why
Miami University.
It's
What?
Miami of Ohio, but
Miami
their
of
satellite
Ohio's
campus
regional
at
campus.
Middletown or Middleton. I can't tell you which it is.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you where that is.
This is okay. Wow, this is a rabbit hole that I'm not going to go down right now because
I'm just going to say that this Mark Adams is Brian Adams' brother.
Okay,
That's
look
fine.
into your heart.
That's right.
you'll find-
Facts only on this podcast.
I'm just gonna reassign credit for Dilbert from the guy that created Dilbert to this guy.
Yeah, there are way better Adams than.
Suddenly
Totally.
I
I
think
like
we can all agree on that.
suddenly I like Dilbert more.
No.
Okay, I would like to talk about also Andy Reid. Andy
Yeah.
Reid had my favorite quote of the week: "Punters have to have big butts." Let me give you some context here.
No
No.
context needed.
No,
No context needed.
Fine.
no, keep going.
Punters
No,
have to
I
have
just-
big butts. Great.
I mean, probably have something in the store that says I like big punts and I cannot lie. You know,
See, punters have to have big butts.
gotta have the big butts. Gotta have them haunches.
Who's talking about sumo today?
Oh, I put that on there. Well, so we just had the most recent tournament, and the way sumo does it, they have 6 tournaments a year. So every odd numbered month, there's a tournament. So the March one just finished. And what is notable about it is that the wrestler who won the top division was the lowest ranked wrestler in the division. So the way they organize everything, every sumo wrestler has a rank, and it changes every tournament. So like next tournament, the rankings will be updated based on the results of this tournament. If you win more matches than you lose, your ranking will increase. If you lose more matches than you win, it'll go down. But they basically, I mean, there's hundreds of sumo wrestlers, and they're grouped into divisions. And the cutoff is rather arbitrary, right? Like there's not a huge difference between the lowest ranked wrestler in the top division and like the highest ranked wrestler in the second division. And if the highest ranked wrestler in the second division has a winning record, then they'll be moving up. And
Gotcha.
so like it's very fluid. There isn't like a set like oh, this many people go up, this many people go down. It's just kind of like you just move up and down whatever your record says. Every tournament you wrestle 15 matches. It lasts 15 days. So it starts on a Sunday, ends on a Sunday. So it's 2 full weeks, 15 days. And then so what's interesting about the way that sumo does it is the top division, it's called Makuuchi. It has, I believe, 42 wrestlers.
Okay.
So you can say like, okay, well, 42 wrestlers, but they're only 15 days for the tournament. So what they do is they actually don't set the schedule too far in advance. So you only know who you're going to wrestle tomorrow, and that's it. And beyond that, they kind of make it up as they go.
Okay.
So what you have here, this wrestler, Takeru Fuji, he was the lowest ranked wrestler. So he started out like his first few days, he was wrestling other people ranked towards the bottom of the division. As he wins and it's like, oh, he's doing really good, then they'll schedule him later in the tournament against people higher up. So even though he's ranked low, he still ended up wrestling a lot of the top wrestlers to win this. And it was actually really, there was some drama because he got hurt on the second to the last day. He got hurt on day 14. And I almost want to say it was like a Paul Pierce type thing where he actually left in a wheelchair after day 14. But he was actually hurt, and he came back out just like one more match on day 15. If he wins it, he wins the whole thing. And he came out and he gutted it out, and he was clearly kind of favoring one leg, but he managed to get the win. But yeah, so not only is he the lowest ranked wrestler in the top division, but he won the championship in his debut year in the top division. And he's been so successful since he started that last tournament he won the second division. That was his only tournament in the second division because the tournament before he was in the third division. And so he's never lost more than 2 matches in a division. Just crazy stuff. He's 24 years old. He started late because he had some knee injuries, but once he's gotten started, he hasn't had anywhere close to even a losing season. But yeah, just
awesome,
unprecedented for him to come up, be the lowest ranked wrestler, and just first tournament in Makuuchi, and he is the champion. So he's actually the first wrestler in 110 years, which is way before modern sumo stuff to do that, to win his first ever tournament up there.
Modern sumo.
I just thought that was pretty cool. And I thought that you guys also might get a kick out of the way that they schedule the matches, where it sort of responds to how you're doing, and if you're doing well, then you'll wrestle people who are above you and maybe also doing well, and if you're not doing well, then like this is
video game matchmaking basically.
Yeah, no, it works out pretty well. And there are a few things that they'll have, like some rules they'll have to fit in, like generally regardless of how you're performing, like if they're like they want like the top highest ranked people to wrestle like on the final few days, but and you can't wrestle anyone from your same stable. But yeah, outside of that, like it's very flexible, very fluid, and it's sort of like, oh, this guy's doing really well, we got to have him wrestle some of the top guys. So either we knock him back down or like he's legit. So I think it's cool.
This is one of those wiki rabbit holes I go down, and it took me a long time to understand enough of the terminology to even like get how everything works. At some point later on, before one of the next boss shows, let's do a we should watch this on Sumo with a quick primer at some point. Before we get to some basketball talk, let's jump in and talk about the things that we have to offer you. We have some partners that we'd love you guys to order from. We have seven coffee roasters, Bearded Brothers, which do vegan energy bars and protein bars, Cola Goodies, which do chai tea and milk lattes, and Pour More, our liquor subscription service. Use offer code yes yes for 5% off your first order. Cannot ship to Utah, Mississippi, Alabama, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Hawaii, Michigan, and South Dakota.
Those links are in our profiles.
Yes.
So anywhere you have them, like when we don't tweet them directly, they're in our profile. They are in our link tree, I would say. Maybe we'll put our only punts up there.
I was going to say, Commish, would you say link in bio?
Link. Oh, you want me to say it all sexy like?
Link in bio.
Link in bio. Okay, no.
Ooh.
Ooh. That makes it sound like there's like some dude named like Lincoln Bio.
If you want our spicy links,
we also for $5 a month you can join.
Link in bio.
Sorry.
You can join
everybody.
our Patreon.
This is Corvallis Love.
Our Patreon. I'm going to keep going. Our
bio.
Patreon gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us about all sorts of things.
Oh,
even if you don't want to do Discord, joining our Patreon gives you access to our Patreon podcasts, which have been Commish's Corner. We just dropped the first episode of the Prairie View Chronicles, talking about the 1990s drought of Prairie View A&M football and what came before, what came after. And then Beth and I have one episode out of Yes, Rah, 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 Yes, our marching band / music podcast. Episode 2 is coming this week on Friday. Also, if you pay for our Substack, you get access to those things as well.
Yep.
Right now, we have a 18% off sale on our store, sickoscommittee.org.
16.
16,
okay.
My bad. And
Close enough.
So at the end of the men's tournament in April, what we're going to do is we're going to shut it down for a little bit. We're going to switch some things around, get some new stuff out, and get it ready for the summer.
Yeah,
so if you want any of the old gear right now,
yeah,
make sure it's there because it may not be there on the other side.
Also, I just put a special code if you're a patron. If you're a part of the patron already, I already put a special code out there on the patron platform. So if you have that, check that out. You got a special code for an even bigger discount to our store, just for being a patron, because you're awesome, and we appreciate the patronage throughout the off season and during the season too. But check that out. But really, I've been kind of exploring different print on demand stores to have like a little different product range. We're kind of limited on this one that we're at right now. And I've been finding some that have some crazy products, which I would really like to sell stuff with our like logos and stuff, which I told Jordan a few of those earlier today.
Good.
Oh boy, Pitt Girl, we're finally gonna get that swimsuit that shows us where the pasties go.
Oh, so excited.
There's a lot of stuff. There is swimsuits, but we already have a swimsuit on this platform right now, which, again, they have the bikini and the one piece, but I don't think
in white. They're all awful.
They're all awful. They're all over print, but these are a little bit different on different platforms. So we may switch it up. So just get this.
Ooh, these are knit bikinis.
Well,
knit bikinis.
I do feel like as the Sickos committee, we should commit to the bit of having some truly terrible merch options.
Yes, for sure. We absolutely will keep some like really out there merch options.
There is like these other platforms that I've been looking at. They have like incredibly ridiculous things. That again, there's stuff that I've been looking, and I'm like, they have jewelry. I'm like, do we really want like a Sickos like monogram necklace? Sickos committee? Like
I'm looking at a crop women's fleece hoodie right now. I'm just telling you there are options.
What about like a Sickos committee grill?
Yep. They do have like a Sickos committee. You could have like a Sickos committee cutting board. There's the hardwood paddle that you could just hang up.
Ooh, plates.
Yes, chop, chop,
Wait,
chop.
wait, wait.
Yes.
Can we
Live,
do
laugh,
a
punt.
Sickos committee cutting board or charcuterie board in the shape of Big Pennsylvania?
We'd have to. I have one in the shape of Texas. Can you believe that?
Maybe.
No way. I've never
I
seen that
can't.
before.
Wow.
Can you imagine I have a fucking charcuterie board in the shape of
This other platform that I see right now, there could be a possibility that we could have a LED sign.
Yeah, we're
So-
gonna work our way through this.
We're gonna again. We'll work our way through these
Can
things. So-
we get a flag?
Yes. I'm going to do
A
my best to get make
double-sided
sure. I'm going to
flag,
make
but-
sure. Yeah, that's so that my biggest complaint is that I want to make sure if it's per on demand, I need the flag to be double sided. So the same thing on both sides. I don't want a one sided
Or-
flag.
And look, I'll even take an Oregon flag where it's two
Yes,
different things.
yeah, that's
on
fine
the side.
too. That's fine too. I just need both sides. Like one sided flag is. I can't do one
So
sided.
just get your merch while you can through April 8th, and just get it while you can. If you anything on the store that you think about you want to get it while you can, because we could be changing up a whole bunch of stuff, and this merch may or may not be available again. So
That is at sickoscommittee.org, which is where our store is at. We have a YouTube. Subscribe to it because that's where all our shorts are going.
And also where all the weird comments are.
Exactly.
yeah,
Check out our Instagram as well, our Substack, and then shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to the places that we refuse to go because they are braver than we will ever be.
Mhm.
And lastly,
Sure, the Kentucky one is the place to be this week.
apparently so.
Ooh.
I'm a big believer of fuck around and find out. And so when you tweet out that if they don't fire Coach Cal, it's going to make January 6th like a field trip. Y'all, poor dude was like, I've only ever had like 5 tweets and no one likes them. And this one had, 40,000 retweets. Yeah, buddy. We don't ever get caught doing the best things.
Oh boy.
And then,
the person was replying, "I'm not doing anything. It was just a joke. Nobody believes satire
yeah.
anymore."
I hope he had a really nice conversation with the FBI agent that came to visit him.
Yeah, I hope it was chill.
It
And-
was a DM.
FBI up in my DMs. Yep.
FBI and by.
It's an important fact of life that we all need to remember that as long as you have cookies on hand, the federal agents won't be so mean.
Exactly.
Just keep some of those Michael Bolton cookies on hand. You got it.
And as always,
When a Fed loves a cookie.
our Sickos shirt showdown with Home Field Apparel. Home Field Apparel is one of our favorite companies that we work with because they basically clothe all of us. Pitt Girl is wearing a plain Home Field shirt. Beth was wearing Colorado School of Mines. Andrew is wearing a peacock shirt. I'm wearing
Rammer Jammer. I don't
sorry.
know why I'm
Oh,
wearing an
boo.
Alabama shirt, but
Well, I mean, you had to stop
The
you had to
bird is-
silence the screaming Grand Canyon lady.
the
mine
bird is
not-
beautiful.
Mine
so I
is
had to
not
get it.
Home Field. Mine is it's a hipster penguin that
Oh.
says I was cool before it was cool.
Mine is I'm wearing another podcast shirt. Oh,
Here we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna split.
but it's a home field shirt though, so it splits on duo. So
Also, Jordan, I will have you know that this is not a plain home field shirt. This is football sailor man.
Oh yes, it is home field shirts.
Oh.
With Home Field, we have still going our Sickos Shirt Showdown, our Super Sickos 16, with teams that were ranked, I think, 10th seed or lower in the men's and women's tournaments. Right now, there are still shirts up for St. Peter's, the Strub Destiny shirt, one of my favorites, the UCI Basketball Anteater, Duncan Big Red, Western
I have
Kentucky,
that one.
Vermont, Script Drake, Fight for Rice Owls, the Old School Montana State shirt, the Duncan Dog JMU Dukes, the Sailor Wolfpack NC State shirt, Script Marshall, Fairfield, Old School Yale Bulldog, Seagate Colgate shirt, the Akron Zip shirt, Chattanooga Mocs, and the Kent State Lightning Bolt Eagle shirt, which are all great and are still on sale. Use offer code committee for 25% off any of those shirts. And they're there until they are no longer there. Okay, Andrew, sir, I need you to peel apart this tournament of basket and tell me what's been going on, because there's been a lot. And even I, as someone who watches way too much college football, felt like there was a fire hose this last couple of days.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday are always a lot. It's just so many sites of basketball. We're in the last 2 games right now. So as we're recording here on Sunday night, Houston is beating Texas A&M by 11, and the San Diego State Yale game just went to the half, and San Diego State's up by quite a bit. But we're gonna go through all the interesting upsets and games that occurred, especially in the men's side, because in the women's side there was literally one upset, and
It was very chalky.
We're not gonna count 8-9 as an upset. So shout out to Middle Tennessee, who beat Louisville.
And Mitsu had LSU on the ropes.
Yeah, they put a pretty good.
And then the fourth quarter started. So
the end of the third quarter. Yeah,
the end of the third was just like it was like a 16-2 run or whatever.
It was an avalanche.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about Kim Mulkey, but LOL.
I do want to talk about her suit a little bit because I want to know what was going on with that suit.
It was fruit stripes.
It really, really looks like she went on 101 Dalmatians to Pride Parade to make that suit.
Did you see the LSU Tiger too?
Yeah, he murdered a flamingo for his suit. I don't understand. And I really don't understand Kim Mulkey's suit specifically because the more you look at it, the worse it looks.
Yes. The details start to like make it come apart.
Because it looks like it's disassembled because it has like trim or something.
It's either trim or I think it's sequin that are turned the wrong way.
And it looks like it's falling apart. It's terrible.
I know exactly what you mean. Yes. So yes, that's the only Kim Mulkey opinion we're going to be saying tonight. We'll let the Washington Post give the other thoughts.
Yes.
Very interested to see what the Washington Post has to say.
Yep. Okay, so first and foremost, in no particular order, we have the Duquesne Dukes.
Dukes.
Woohoo!
Shout out Pittsburgh's hometown team. To give you a recap, in the A10 tournament, they beat SLU, Dayton, St. Bonaventure, and VCU to make the tournament at all. They prematurely released the streamers at the Barkley Center on Sunday.
That's right. That was the.
We got corrected by the AP on our podcast title when I said premature confetti.
Yeah, it was Ralph Russo. Correct.
Ralph Russo was just like, I am tired of people calling this confetti.
Those are streamers.
For the
also the singular confetti is confetto, and people don't know that enough.
Hey, confetto!
I do like the idea of just one singular confetto.
Like one confetto.
This is the problem with timpani too. Timpani is a plural. Like timpani is multiple drums.
So one timpani is a timpano?
Timpano, yeah.
Timpano.
That's you can go timpanum too, yes. Because it's Latin. You can go Latin on that.
Single confetti in Latin, confettum.
Confettum, there we go.
Like a cafetorium.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, just like a cafetorium. Okay, so tell me this. The A10 doesn't have all their people in the tournament, question mark?
This is just the teams that they beat.
Got you. Okay.
They do have everybody.
Oh, sorry. So the way I read this, I thought it was just they had to beat those teams just to get into the A10 tournament.
Oh no, I meant to get into like March Madness.
Got you.
Like
okay.
The NCAA
had to win every game.
They were not going to just slide it on an at-large bid, basically.
They defeated a Billiken, a Flyer, and a Bonaventure.
A Bonnie.
Okay.
And a Ram.
And the Ram. Don't forget the Ram.
And they were given an 11 seed for their troubles, and they faced off against BYU, who did have a really good season and can really shoot the heck out of the ball. But they handled their offense really well. BYU came out really like flat, but Duquesne kind of took it to them. Their best player is a Day Grant, so shout out to him. Mm-hmm. They played extremely well in that game, and then came across the buzzsaw of Illinois in the second game. So
that was whatever.
That was less competitive sporting event. But yeah, they looked really good in that first game. So great year. Shout out to their coach Keith Dambrot, who's retiring now. He is old enough to have coached LeBron James in high school. So he is riding off into the sunset after a successful year. And Pitt Girl's raising her hand, so I'm going to cede the floor.
Yeah, I would just like to take a second to shout out friend of the show, I'm Yik Yak on Twitter, who is also an IRL friend of mine, who is the internet's most belligerent Duquesne fan, and got them on the board at Rocco's for Jello shots.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
nice.
We love to see it.
In Omaha. Love it.
In Omaha, yes.
That's right. Got a Rocco. Duquesne has made it to Rocco's in Omaha of College World Series fame.
You'll be unsurprised to learn that Washington State is leading the college basketball tournament.
Yeah,
no way.
I'm not fucking surprised.
I mean, that's the number one seed in the Jello shot board there in that region.
No way. Wow.
So
That's stunning
what
information.
about the Oakland Golden Grizzlies?
Okay, I don't want to make anybody on this podcast feel dumb, but did y'all know where Oakland was before this game happened?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's in southeastern Michigan.
Michigan.
I
And
don't know that I could have told you what part of Michigan, but I knew Michigan.
okay, great.
Yeah, I
Proud
just
of you.
vaguely knew like Detroit area.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
that's accurate.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
kind
like-
of like unclear. I was discussing with people I know from Michigan, like what town it's actually in, and there was no consensus. So even confusing to those people. So they have a transfer who's basically their sixth man from Hillsdale, which is a more questionable Michigan college.
It's a really fucking questionable Michigan college.
Feel free to Google that on your own time.
Yep.
But not to take away anything from Jack Gohlke. He was tremendous in the game against Kentucky. He attempted in the regular season.
This is my favorite thing on earth.
He attempted eight 2-point shots the entire year, and 347 3-pointers.
Only never do
this is
anything hard.
This is Greg Campy's offense. They once had a player attempt 0 twos in a season a few years ago. So this is what he does. He always wants to have a shooter because 2 is better than 3. That's just how math works.
Otherwise, sure.
This is Oakland. This was Oakland's first win ever in the NCAA tournament. So Greg Campy's first tournament win. Gohlke went crazy in that game, and then they really gave NC State a really great game.
Gave him a real scare.
I was on the edge of my seat and standing during that game. I thought that was the best tournament game so far, in my opinion. Those two teams battling it out. We'll talk about NC State in a minute, as we did previously. But their best player in the Horizon League Player of the Year, Troy Townsend, also balled out in that game. He had 30 points. And they were tremendous. Really, really fun story.
How long has Greg Campy been at Oakland?
He's the longest tenured coach. This was his 40th season.
40. I was looking up. I found a friend of the program, Craig, showed me the old Oakland Pioneer mascot because they were the Oakland Pioneers before, and it's an old like horror show, Pioneer Pete. And
oh god,
I was looking at like, okay, when did this switch over? Trying to find like a catalyst when it switched, and it was because when Greg Campy got there, he was like, this mascot sucks. We got to switch it out. Like it's old enough that he was the catalyst for it because they hadn't had like Oakland University has not been around for a long time. It is a younger school, and their basketball program's even younger than that. I think they were like a swimming school for a long ass time before they branched out into basketball. I did a little research on this. They have not digitized their yearbooks yet, which is unfortunate.
Ugh.
Okay. What else?
So they had a great year, and we're very proud of them and wish they could have pulled it out against NC State. But NC State beat them, so we got to talk about NC State next. The 11th seed, as we've previously discussed, they had to win the ACC tournament to make it in at all. They were coming in on 4 straight losses. Then they won 5 games in 5 days, and now they've won 2 games in 4 days, winning Thursday and Saturday, beating Texas Tech in round 1, and then they beat Oakland, of course, in overtime in round 2. So Kevin Keats went from being basically fired to making the Sweet 16. So college basketball is amazing. Their poster child, their front man, DJ Burns, ideal male form, massive human being, great smile, funny dude. And one of their backup bigs is apparently related to Danny Cannell, so we don't like that. But he had 21 points in the Texas Tech game after averaging 6 points a game during the regular season. So
people just are better in the tournament.
And here they go into the second weekend.
Who are they playing their next game?
2 seed Marquette, right?
I believe they're playing Marquette.
Okay,
Yes,
there you go.
I think.
The next thing on our list here is, do they have to fire Coach Calipari? I'm not the one who's going to make that decision. $35 million, I think, is the buyout. So good luck to whatever Kentucky booster will be paying that fat cash. So
we gotta find out how many Vietnamese dong that is. Hang on.
That's a lot of dong.
Okay.
Oh my. That's so much fucking dong.
I don't know how many of y'all follow the NBA closely, but there are a lot of people calling Coach Calipari Italian Doc Rivers, which is extremely funny.
That's that's hilarious and awful.
All right, I got the if it's a $35 million buyout, which you don't know exactly what it is, but that is Oh my god.
That's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of dong.
It's a lot of dongs. It is
A lot of
I
fucking
believe
dong.
it is 873 billion 460 million 830,000 Vietnamese dongs
So much dong.
Wow.
at the current exchange rate.
By the way, Texas A&M just hit a pretty deep 3, and they're only down by 5 with like a minute left. So get some eyes on that one.
I think the Iranian rial actually might be a larger number. See how many Iranian rial that is.
Okay. Iranian?
Yeah.
Rial? Okay.
Oh, that is a bigger number.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus. That is 1 trillion 481 billion 408 million 760,090 and 6 cents reals. I don't know what
You got bored halfway through that number.
Yeah. I mean, the number is
It's
big,
just
but it's
big.
not as fun to say.
It's
as
not
dong.
as I don't
Oh,
want to keep
sorry.
it real. I'd rather the dongs.
Rather have more fucking dong.
I don't have
Whoa,
Fucking
that's
dong.
so much fucking dong.
so many dongs here. I'm just imagining that gif where the girl has a bunch of hot dogs thrown on her face.
Lindsay, you mean
so
you mean
that's-
what?
yeah.
You mean
I know
Lindsay
Lindsay
Ellis, like well known
yes,
and well respected
Mm-hmm.
video essayist and writer Lindsay Ellis, who like all of us had to do shit she'd hated for a long time. Okay, so then do we have to talk about Yale? Can we not talk about Yale?
we have to introduce the American people to the Cinderella story.
Fucking hell.
The underdog team that is the Yale Bulldogs, who are losing in the second round by like 20.
Perfect.
But they, as noted here in the show notes, they apparently, even with their $1 billion endowment, couldn't get their band to Spokane.
I'm going to be really honest here that if it's not spring break week, it's pretty close up there.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
And then the other thing is, like most Ivy League teams, you really don't want to let your band go places where they can be seen. You kind of don't. You hire that job out. And
so the Idaho
they
band,
hired the Idaho band.
The Idaho, the games are in Spokane, but Idaho is like the hosting institution.
It's the first time that Yale has hired this many replacements since the Civil War.
Yep. Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was
whoa indeed.
That was
so yeah, they pulled it off against Auburn, who in the analytics is like the highest non-1 seed. So that was tough. Pitt Girl looks pretty upset. It was not a great performance by Auburn. It must be said, but Yale and my guy Pulakidis, another underdog story from he's from Naperville, Illinois. He pulled it off, and they continue to today's game, and they're not doing very well against San Diego State. Pitt Girl, you have the floor.
Yeah, I had Auburn in my Final Four because I remember the 2010 and 2013 football seasons and very stupidly believed that good things can happen to Auburn. I watched the end of this game at my favorite local brewery with Obnoxiously Pitt Boyfriend, and the guy sitting at the bar on the other side of Obnoxiously Pitt Boyfriend also had Auburn in his Final Four. So I was at least not alone in my sadness.
Well, hey, I mean, Auburn, last time when they won the sex tournament, they did go to the Final Four, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This time, not so much.
And the other mid-major school that won was JMU.
Yes,
They kind of dominated Wisconsin, actually.
They did,
but they did not dominate Duke.
Duke threw them
around.
Half,
yeah, in the first half, just to give
Duke
you a
on
sense.
Duke violence.
Yeah.
If you did not follow this game or only check the box score, Duke had 8 threes in the first half, and JMU had 8 total baskets in the first half. So
those are the same.
Yeah, they threw them. They ragdolled them.
That's how that went. And the only other things to mention, we have 2 games that were tied, of course, going into overtime. That's how overtime works. Northwestern beat FAU by 12 in overtime. FAU had a chance to to win at the end of regulation in that 8-9 game in Brooklyn. And for whatever reason, I don't know if the player Davis thought they were going to take a timeout.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just kind of like yeeted a 3. and then it went to overtime, and Northwestern like absolutely dominated them. Ryan Langborn, transfer from Princeton, he was amazing in overtime. But yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah, that shot for FAU, the to close regulation, which by the way, like FAU had a lot go wrong there. They had free throws. I think it was a 1-and-1 where they were up by I think 2, and they could have iced the game there, missed it. Then Northwestern gets the ball. They go on offense for like their final shot down 2. And their play, like it was very clear. That's one of the biggest things that I've noticed where like, because I watch a lot of NBA, like I'm definitely watching more NBA than I'm watching college. And, one of the places you can really see the skill level is when it's like, oh, like 20 seconds left, like the clock is ticking down. Like, I feel like NBA players just like know what to do so much better than college players in like those specific situations. Like, obviously there's going to be like just differences in skill, but like, so like Northwestern's final possession in regulation, it's just like, oh, we have one guy, he's dribbling the ball, he's going to dribble around. He passed once and immediately got the ball back, and like it was just like, yeah, this is our one dude. He's gonna have the ball in his hands. He's gonna take the shot. That's it, and he made it and tied the game. FAU coming back down, it was super. It felt like I was like, wait, are they taking a timeout? Because like the way that he slowed up, like once he'd crossed half court, like okay, got the ball across half court. Now what? And he just kind of froze. It reminded me of when Damian Lillard hit that shot against the Thunder, except it wasn't a good shot. Like it was just like a terrible shot. It was just an air ball, double covered. But just the way because like as a viewer, I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, okay, like what's the play that they're gonna run? And then it's just like, nope, they're just not gonna run a play. Like.
And they had a timeout, so
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what was happening there. And now that coach is the coach of Michigan, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it always blows my mind to see like, you'd think, because again, I'm used to watching NBA, so I you get in those situations, I'm like, okay, who's gonna come like set the screen? Like what action are they gonna run? It's just like, I don't know. This dude has the ball. Cool, like he's gonna shoot it.
You said the dude from Northwestern had transferred from Princeton, correct?
Yeah, and I made it. I don't recall the exact numbers, but in the tournament last year, of course, Princeton made the run last year.
Right.
He had multiple 20-point games, and against FAU, he had like 26 points. So he's a March Madness legend forever.
I'm trying to think about the kind of person Princeton to Northwestern. That makes sense. I'm trying to think of someone who transfers from Princeton to FAU. I'm trying to think about like what the trajectory in life is that gets you from Princeton to FAU, and it's got to be
fraud.
Well,
insurance.
A lot of New Jerseyans end up in Florida. He's just speed running it.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, if you're in Boca and you're not 80 from Jersey, that feels weird. But you're right. He's just speed running. The other overtime game, I believe, was Creighton in Oregon. And
yeah,
Creighton,
and it went to double overtime.
And then it got away from Oregon.
And then Oregon, the energy was just gone. Their best two players, Kuznart had the most points ever in 2 tournament games by a Pac-12 RIP player ever.
And they're extremely lucky that my food processor still had eligibility.
Yeah,
it was good.
And he passed some guy named Lou Alcindor, so that's pretty good. But yeah, it kind of fell apart there on them there towards the end for Oregon, because he was basically on the floor, but like basically needed to sit down.
Gotcha.
And so did their big Dante. And those were their best 2 players. So Dana Altman is a wizard, though. Like they made the tournament. They beat a 6 seed, and then they almost beat a 3 seed with basically like 2.5 players. And their third best player got injured in this game. So that guy can freaking coach basketball. So good for him.
Yeah, I mean, and Creighton is a team where when they get the 3 ball going, like it's not always going, but when it is, it's like, oh, like they can just really put points on. But I like Creighton opened up double overtime. Like they won. What was the exact final score? Was 86 to 73. So they won by 13, but they opened up the second overtime on a 15-0 run. So
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's what you got to know about that game.
Also Puddles, the
Taking a
duck
nap.
taking a nap on the sideline, reading Pilates books.
Well, actually, he said very specifically via Twitter that he was not taking a nap.
Not taking
He
a
was
nap.
reading.
He's just reading Pilates.
He's reading in bed. That's common
Real
behavior.
cozy.
I would like to shout out at Yale MBB on Twitter, which is not the Yale men's basketball program, which a lot of people thought it was. That's at Yale M basketball. What does at Yale MBB go to? That's the Yale Department of Molecular Biophysics and Biochemistry.
Because of course it is.
Of course it is. Of course they got the
Someone
they got
asked
the other first.
the top comment on that tweet is, "But do Yell hoop?"
Like Gohlke Jr. It's like,
Yeah, he quote tweeted it actually, right?
Yeah, Yale
Yeah, you
Molecular
go
Biochem should have hooped. They tall as hell.
So congratulations to Yale Molecular Biophysics and Biochemistry for getting the big W as well there. Okay, Andrew, what about the women's tourney?
So as we mentioned at the beginning, this looked like it was going to be a year with some upsets. Now, don't forget the women's tournament. The top 4 seeds, so the top 16 overall seeds, host the first 2 rounds, and then it goes to regional finals, which this year are in Portland, Oregon, and Albany. Not Albany, as the woman on the selection show kept calling it, Albany. But yeah, there were not upsets.
Albany.
There were not upsets this year. There was literally one, if we're not counting 8-9 games. I actually don't know if any 9 seeds won off the top of my head. But yeah, the only upset was Middle Tennessee over Louisville, which Louisville doesn't really play offense, and Middle Tennessee does. So that was how that game went. But yeah, there was basically no drama. The women's tournament is Friday, Saturday for the first round, and Sunday, Monday for the second round. So only half the Sweet 16 is filled out. I think there are still games going on right now. Baylor beat Virginia Tech, so that's kind of an upset. The 5 seed beating the 4 seed, of course, is not usually an upset in March Madness, but these are road wins for Colorado and Baylor. So I'm going to go ahead and call those,
Gotcha.
I guess, upsets. Right now, Iowa State's actually beating Stanford, which is a very big upset. And Duke beat Ohio State, which is an upset and makes me quite sad. There was nearly a stat broken. Ohio State has hit a 3, women's team has hit a 3 in 361 straight games, which is, I think, an NCAA record, definitely some sort of record. And they hit a 3 like in the last 10 seconds to extend it.
Just to extend it. There you go.
Yeah, but they still lost. So shout out to the Duke women, and definitely shout out to Middle Tennessee, because that was the only wow, this is like a nice Cinderella story upset with like a mid-major team winning. And please, in the future, do seed teams like Fairfield and FGCU appropriately, because it was kind of a sham that they were seeded so poorly. Oh!
What was that?
Did he make it?
Texas A&M just hit a step back 3 at the buzzer and sent it to overtime against Houston.
Okay.
So, that was on a inbounds play with 1.2 seconds left.
I thought that was your excitement of talking about Chicago State being in the college basketball invitational tournament Elite 8. Hell
I'm
yeah.
also excited about that. Shout out to the Cougars, who didn't play for 6 weeks and are now.
I know, they're just resting.
Continuing to play.
Arthur, what did you just remember?
So I just want to shout out Nike. First of all, it just stands out for me with Nike. The schools that I follow most closely are Nike schools. I don't know if Under Armour or Adidas do this well, but you know how we make fun of the bowl season folks for just making a template and just putting a school logo into their template and selling shirts. Nike does that for March Madness. Every year there's some weird shirt that's just a template, and then every single team that Nike has just has to have that exact same template. right? I mean, this year it's blank energy, right? Like with no design or anything outside of the template.
last
like
year wasn't it just like Soul, like
yes,
SOLE?
last year it was
Yeah, it was
Soul.
awful.
But this year it's like blank energy without like any consideration of like, does this actually sound good for this particular team? Like, does this sound like something that people make jokes about, right? Like, just nope, stamp it, put it in the template, ship it, right? So I don't know. We make fun of the bowl season people for their bowl eligible shirts. Man, like Nike does this same thing
Oh yeah,
for the tournament.
because it will sell, because people will pay for it. Okay, kids, I want to do two things for my little bit for this evening. The first one is, can I talk for about 10 minutes about Olympic events that no longer exist?
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
what,
Setting my
This is
timer.
one of my favorite Wikipedia holes.
Yeah.
I'm so
Have you heard of
excited.
the sport called baseball?
I know, or softball. Who knew?
10 minutes?
I've never heard.
Yeah,
never heard of
give me
that.
10 minutes on
Okay.
this.
Go.
So, Pitt Girl, what do you think about when you think of these sports?
So because I am a nerd,
Yeah, of course
and
you
I
are.
enjoy
That's
this
fine.
Wikipedia hole. Once upon a time, Olympic painting existed.
Yes, Olympic art and Olympic engine, like architecture, existed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Olympics were supposed to be this not just physical thing, but it's about thinking. And did they ever give out a gold medal for art, Pitt Girl?
Yes, they did.
They did.
In the I want to say the Paris Olympics, one of the early ones, but not the one in Athens.
Right. There were some where they didn't give out a gold medal at all, which is the ultimate in, I mean, Beth understands this, the kind of audition that you go to where they just go, we're not taking anyone. Everyone can audition again.
Mm-hmm.
This happens a lot, especially for the military band openings.
Yeah.
They'll bring in a bunch of people to
900
audition,
like 900 people will audition.
and then they'll go, nah, none of them.
Oh my god.
Do it
Zero.
again. Do it again. And they'll do this 3 or 4 times. Orchestras do this and choice about this too. Here are some things. This is from an article by Marco Hernandez in Reuters. The first one, the 200 meter obstacle swimming.
Ooh.
Okay, what would you think? When I'm saying obstacle swimming, what do you think we're talking about here?
Someone is swimming through the raging rapids at Kennywood.
You're thinking that, right? What else?
Oh, you don't want to be in that water.
Have you guys ever played the Olympics video games where you're doing the rafting in the single one?
Mhm.
It's really difficult. I'm just imagining someone trying to do that no boat, no kayak.
I'm imagining people doing when you go to an aquarium and they have a dolphin show.
Mhm.
I'm imagining that, but it's a people show.
So it's close to that. You had to jump in the
The
water.
obstacle is a shark.
You had to get over a pole that hovered right in the water. Then you had to get up and into a small boat, over it, dive under a second small boat, and then get out on the other side. I like this.
Pirate parkour.
Right. This feels like one of my favorite events is modern pentathlon, because that is, how to be a military officer. This is how to survive when your boat capsizes.
I was going to say, this feels kind of like biathlon in that it is theoretically practical.
Yes. How about plunging for distance?
I got bronze in Life of Pi because I got eaten by the tiger.
You have to jump in the water. You jump forward. You remain motionless while traveling in the water, so no paddling. And then when your face comes above water, that's where the measurement is listed.
Oh, it's like long jumping for swimming.
It is. It's directly just into the water. You can't kick or pedal or paddle. You just go in and out.
Okay.
Okay. How about the underwater swim? This apparently, the issue was basically you had to stay underwater for the race of it. This took place in the Seine River in 1900 and had a limit of 60 meters for swimmers who received 1 point for every second they stayed underwater and 2 points for every meter they swam underwater.
Do we have records here?
We do.
Why do I feel like
Okay.
the Seine was probably really gross in 1900?
I think it's really gross now. They had to clean it for this Olympics.
Make sure you open up your eyes so you can see, and so you get the fun parasites.
I'm going to tell you that the reason they canceled it was, quote, lack of spectator appeal. It was too
They
boring.
didn't have any underwater cameras
No,
back then.
yeah.
You got to bring it back.
Okay, other things that might be interesting. How about this? Cesta punta, basca pelota. It is like highlight,
Yeah.
but with a bigger, like, little flippy thing. And they have actually done this at the Olympics a couple times. They did it as a demonstration sport all the way back in 92 in Barcelona Olympics. But it was an official game at the 1900 Paris Olympics. And surprise, Spaniards won that. When I say Spaniards, I mean folks from the Basque region of Spain. It is
So it's the original basketball.
Yes. It was good.
Thanks.
Okay, how about some things that we got rid of for good reason? Some horse events, long jump and high jump.
Yeah.
Bring back horse diving.
Right.
I do like the idea of like a horse Olympics, where it's just like, what would be the hardest Olympic sport for a horse to do?
Water polo.
That would be really bad.
Synchronized swimming.
Snowboard, luge, horse skeleton.
Now I'm thinking of horse bobsled.
Bobsled with
Me
horses.
too. Me too. That's what I've been brainstorming.
You
Yeah,
know,
the
Imagine
rhythm.
designing a
Climbing
bobsled
it.
to fit 4
No,
horses.
we're going about this entirely wrong. I have never wanted anything more than I wanted to see a catamaran manned entirely by horses.
Yep.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride.
Hor-
Get on up. It's horse bobsled time.
horse surfing.
Horse surfing. That's Mr. Ed. I've seen that on an episode of Mr. Ed. How
Horse curling.
oh, that would be good. That's BoJack. I'm pretty sure that's an
But
episode
they
of
just
BoJack
use their
Horseman.
tails instead of a sweeper.
Like anything that involves a horse on, like a horseshoe on ice, that's got to be,
A bad idea.
Ooh,
I
horse
remember-
hockey.
Well, yeah, I remember you couldn't use like bull
Horse
hockey.
hockey.
Like
Now
somebody was
listen.
like, "This is horse hockey." Like it's like a fake cuss word, but it'd be real this time.
Horse judo would fucking slap.
Yep. That would be.
Ooh,
Horse fencing.
Again, I feel like that was
We
a Mr.
gave
Ed
the we
episode.
gave the horse an epee.
Like, everything was a Mr.
More
Ed
like
episode.
apnea.
Short track horse skating.
Horse track and field. Like some of them make sense, but then I'm picturing a horse.
Isn't that just horse
But then I'm
racing?
picturing a horse like doing a pole
Shot
vault.
put.
Yeah, a horse pole vault. Like in the teeth, bounce, 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 bounce. And
What
again,
about, like,
Mr.
you-
Ed cuts away to like the dummy.
Dude,
Do you give your horse
Just imagine
four
the
sets?
flex in the pole.
Do you give your horse 4 skis for ski jumping or just 2? And it kind of kangaroos.
I'm thinking 2.
the horse hammer?
I
throw
like
would
the
be
idea
fun.
of the horse just like it's got skis attached to its hooves. It's just going over the ski jump, just like standing there. Like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Listener, no horses were harmed in the making of this podcast because none of us are wealthy enough to own horses.
Sickos committee, not horse girls.
What about tug of war? Tug of war was an Olympic event for like
We're
20
horse
years.
ideators.
Can we talk about how tug of war is actually super dangerous?
It is.
The rope isn't strong enough.
Yes, people
I
get
think
hurt.
we talked about like tug of war injuries on this show at some point in the past, but if the rope snaps, you can like lose an eye or more because it is under a lot of tension. Be safe. Tug of war can be dangerous, actually.
Tug of war is now at the World Games, which we will talk about again for 2025. Hashtag Chengdu 2025. These World Games are the Olympics for sports that have Olympic international organizing committees, but are not Olympic sports yet.
Well, down the rabbit hole I go. I decided to do an image search for the chat, and I have discovered the sport of horse skiing. So if you need me, that's where I'm
Oh.
going to be for the rest of this podcast.
Okay, good.
Bye, everybody.
Beth is gone. How about all-round dumbbell lifts? You know those old like strongman dumbbells that were just like 2 round? If you're going to draw a dumbbell, it was an event that had 10 exercises over 2 days, 10 kinds of lifts. The last lift was freestyle. You had to have a flourish at the end. And then there was some extra shooting. There was a running deer shooting event. They had a deer cut out on a little rail. Like it would be a little like mini train rail with those like pumping carts, and it would come by and you had to shoot it. Again, more Olympic events that are, tangible things. And then, of course, stuff like croquet, cricket, and things get sort of like dropped here and there. There were some demonstration sports, like there was pigeon racing. There was ballooning. The Paris Olympics in 1900, I need to look into more because they did some wacky shit there. We talk about the St. Louis Olympics that were totally horseshit, but the 1900 Paris Olympics, they were just wild about what they were considered to be sports at that point. Okay, so that's my first part. The second part is this. Commish, I know it drives you crazy sometimes that we don't
35
have...
seconds to spare, by the way. Good job.
That we don't have, a format all the time for this podcast. You like show notes. You write things down. I like this. So I looked up a bunch of articles about segments that real podcasts have.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to run through some of these as a group.
Okay.
Because we need segments.
What this
podcast is missing.
All right,
We're
let's
talking about
stop
segments.
posting pictures of horse skiing now.
No, don't stop.
No, never stop. We need concise segments that we can monetize.
Jordan,
Yeah.
can we have Plane Crash Corner?
Right, stuff like that. So I'm going to shout them things out. I'm going to give us, Beth, you're on a timer again for me here. We're going to have 5-minute things here. There are lots of things here. Inspiration of the day is a suggested segment in this article. Word of the day, a product review.
Okay.
But we're going to go with a tutorial or life hack. So now on, we're going to have a segment where one of us talks about a life hack every episode. And I'd like you guys just to sort of talk it out in your heads right now. What kind of life hacks can you bring to this group? What are the things that make your life better? Like, I'll start with one of my easy ones. My preferred soap, I use that Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. It's delightful. It's my favorite. That's my how to adult life hack.
And if you can't sleep, read the label.
Exactly.
So your life hack is using soap?
But not
Dudes rock.
But
not just any soap.
But I will say,
not just any soap.
Not
is this sponsored?
I would say, ladies, do not use this peppermint soap on sensitive areas because it does hurt.
I can confirm, and I hate being able to say that.
I was going to ask you to back it up.
Look, I played sports.
I was just about to say that Beth and I were both processing how to answer that, but Beth was not processing how to answer that, and that's worse.
Beth got out of her system. It's good.
There's been...
Is this why we don't have sponsored content?
Yeah, of course. What's your life hack, Commish? Go.
I can't understand why the podcast advertising sector is cratering.
Yeah.
No, I've had many icy hot mishaps throughout my baseball career. So just...
Oh, yes.
Do you know barbecue sauce can burn sensitive areas?
How do you find that out?
I'm going to have to tell you this story off podcast. Some of it's actionable. I actually have to make sure I say this off air.
Here's my life hack for you.
Go. What's your life hack?
Electrical tape works better than Band-Aids in a lot of applications.
Done. Great. Okay. Pitt Girl, what's your life hack?
If you, like me, are not a particularly strong person, I strongly recommend finding a 3-ish foot length of sturdy metal pipe that fits over the handle of your lug wrench. And then when you get stuck on the side of the road, you have enough leverage to get the lugs off, even if you are not a particularly strong person. My length of pipe is affectionately nicknamed the Persuader, and it was given to me by my dad.
Love it.
10 out of 10, recommend.
So this is a new segment we're using. This is our life hack segment. So make sure you have more of this. Next segment, they suggest.
Commish looks confused.
I was like, I can't even think of a life hack that I have.
You don't have one?
Me either.
No, you have one.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Commish, your life hack was to plant rye grass in the winter. So you have grass all winter while your idiot neighbors don't.
Well, I mean, that's just being...
But here's the thing. The fact that we're trying to monetize this podcast and turn it into something legitimate means that we have to say things that are obvious.
Okay.
You don't make money and get new followers by saying crazy things. You tell them things they already know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me everybody already knew about the Barkley Marathons, and that's why the video is doing well?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Well, apparently the commenters didn't realize. But, again, I'm not supposed to look at those. So, life hack, don't read the YouTube comments.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one.
That's a good
I got one.
life hack. Here, I'll give you a life
Go
hack.
for it.
My life hack is that if you book a first class airplane ticket, you can get lounge access.
There you go. Okay, other things. It says share your top 10 lists. So I feel like emotionally we just need to shout out our top 10 favorite. I don't know. What's your favorite popsicle flavors? Go. Really, folks? You don't have favorites?
Orange.
Are we talking about popsicle on a stick, or
Are
are
we
we
doing like
talking
this
about
Otter Pops
Pops?
again that we talked about?
No,
Or
hell,
what-
whatever it is. Like, whatever it is. We're just top 10 content's important.
Orange.
Orange, okay.
Green.
Green, yep, good flavor.
I'm gonna stir it up here.
Go for it.
Coconut.
Ooh, see, don't like that.
Ew.
Oh,
I like-
it's controversial. It'll get the people going.
Pickle.
Oh, that's even
What the
more
fuck,
controversial.
Jordan? No.
I'll post a picture.
The worst slushies.
Blue.
Yeah. You have
Like grape, but like the intense like Welch's grape.
The very purple grape.
Yeah, like the kind where you swear it just did something to your kidneys.
Yep.
It probably did.
Mhm.
That's okay.
I mean, it's going to come out that color.
So, update.
Yeah.
This game has been insane.
Yes.
It just happening in the background.
Mhm.
Houston is up by 3 with 17 seconds left in overtime, and they just inbounded the ball to seal the game to a guy who like does not play very
Okay.
often. So shout out to Ryan Elvin, and I'll let you know if he hits his free throws or not.
His season free throw percentage, he's 3 for 4 on the year. On the year, he's only
Okay.
shot 4 free throws the entire year.
He is now 3 for 5. He's about to shoot his second.
Oh,
I'm very slightly ahead of Grish.
Jordan
thanks.
Archibald Sickos. That's just aspic on a stick.
This is
4 for 6.
I mean, like, these pickle pops are really tasty. I'm just saying. Okay, so other things we can do.
Maybe you said pickle.
We're going to do product reviews at some point, so I need you guys to start thinking about things to review around your house. Right now in front of me, I'm going to talk about this slinky I have. It's
Ooh,
delightful.
slinky.
It's a metal slinky too. It's a good
Metal
one.
Slinky, best Slinky.
Yes.
I have a product.
Yeah, go
review
for it.
you. If you see this, there's this product, Dunkin' branded like hard coffee flavored beverages. They're awful. Don't buy them. They're terrible. They come in 4 flavors. Like you can get them in a variety pack. It comes in caramel, mocha, vanilla, and original, which is just like plain coffee flavored. Like it is Dunkin' branded. They're flavored to be like try to taste like a Dunkin' iced coffee.
Yeah.
That would have that flavor. It's awful. It's a malt beverage. So like PBR, right? They used to make the PBR hard coffee that had like actual dairy in it and it was good. Like it was actual like hard coffee. This is a malt beverage that is just like Dunkin' coffee flavored.
Gross.
And it is borderline undrinkable. Don't get it.
I would like to product review the sweet roasted almond flavor of everything tea.
Oh,
This is a beautiful tea stain, and it tastes like what apple pie smells like. It's a wonderful, wonderful drinkable tea, and at $30 for a pound for a loose leaf tea stain, not bad at all. No caffeine, a delightful drink, and you only have to steep it 6 to 10 minutes under with like a medium heated water. So, highly recommend.
okay, cool. Well, what about this, guys? How about an inspiration of the day? You guys have a quote that you want to share with our people? Get them inspired? Anyone? Y'all are looking at me like I'm fucking insane.
Well, here, I'll give you a quote. Since this is March, I will say, stay hungry, stay humble, and attribute it to John Rothstein.
okay, there we go. He has been bugging me so much with his single game thing. They're not actual single games.
The women's tournament is also on, John.
I know.
The CBI is on, John.
So I don't think that's what he means when he says standalone. I think that he just means that like this game is so good you could watch it even if you didn't have the context of March Madness happening, right? Like you're gonna watch all of these games because it's March Madness, but like this game is so good you could watch it even if it wasn't March
I
Madness.
feel like this is how he watches all his games because all his tweets say that his wife left him with it took the baby because it's March Madness, because he's watching these games and he's standing alone.
So other things we should be doing. Now I'm just going to list some ideas in the future. A call-in. We could do live call-ins on the episode. We could.
We
We've
already
had
do
lots
that.
of people call in.
I mean, we've had Roger Sherman call
We
in.
did that one.
We
Didn't
did.
we just have somebody do this?
Yes, we had Beth
Just
call in too.
on.
Colin Deaver, live
Colin
from the
Deaver
road.
was just on
There
the.
we
He
go.
just called in like a week ago.
Perfect. Countdowns, interviews.
Mm.
How about reviewing social ideas? We could do that in this program.
We're
Okay.
going to be
Is
the
that
very
not
first
the intent of this
podcast
program?
unboxing video.
What do they mean by social ideas? Like, are we like that phrasing just makes me think of like I don't know, like social ideas. Something
can I ask
like
a social idea that's pertinent to the sporting event I'm watching.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it.
Jim Nantz is retired from calling games, but he's wearing a undershirt that's a collared shirt, like a polo shirt, and he's wearing a sweatshirt on top of it.
It's
how
a
do
hoodie.
we feel about that?
that's a
Yeah, it's like a
very
hoodie.
Jim Nantz
It's a
look.
Houston Cougar hoodie because the Cougs have just defeated A&M live
They just
on this,
won. Yeah.
Go Cougs.
and 100-95. So that buzzer beater that A&M made will make the highlight reel of one shining moment, but
It was pretty sick.
it was nice, but it all for naught. The
Houston
Cougs
Duke.
advance. But yes, Nance has the like button up collared shirt, long sleeve collared shirt, with a hoodie on top.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
that's-
a name for that look. That is called Puddles Forgot to Bring a Coat.
This is they're showing him again. This is very like
This is casual Nance.
middle-aged man.
They're
I don't
showing
hate
him
it.
a lot. I mean, I know he's a legend, but
I mean, Houston
He's
Cougar
not one of
alum,
them.
right?
I believe
yeah,
so.
I don't know.
I think so.
A lot of air. Yeah, he is. He's an alum. He
Yeah.
called games on the radio there.
Some other things people have suggested that you should do if you're making a podcast: tell backpacking stories. How about write short stories? Explore sound design. This is what this podcast needs. It needs a broader sound landscape.
That's exactly what.
Let
we
me just scream like the person on the Alabama
Uh-huh.
Grand Canyon game.
Oh, I'm gonna
I-
clip your yell from going to overtime and use it in other things too, Andrew.
You should.
I mean, I think if we're gonna do one sound design, it should just be like everyone just speaks at a good volume, good distance from the mic,
Nope,
directly
Don't
into
need
the
that.
mic.
Nope, that sounds lame and boring.
Why would we do that?
Yep.
I'm going to go into Logic and start putting myself in the filter that sounds like a big underground sewer.
So like when we do like sounds or something, or do we
Damn,
just
you're
supposed to
recording
sing?
from State College.
We're just supposed to sing Michael Bolton again? Is that what it is?
How about this? Narrate yourself doing basic tasks.
Currently, I'm
Sickos
scrolling my timeline.
Community Googles things.
Yeah.
Sickos Committee Googles things. We definitely do that. We can hear folks typing on the podcast at some point. Like we're tweeting and
Quote, the reality is that this podcast topic won't be appealing to everyone, but for listeners wanting simple distraction to pass the time, it might be it.
Well, you come to the right place for
Yeah,
that.
if you want a
You've
simple
come to the
discussion.
right place. You've come to the Sickos Committee podcast.
Okay, so Commish, do you know what ASMR is?
Yes.
Okay, do you ASMR?
I don't know. I don't get into it. I'm like
What-
not
what
a big
is-
fan.
What is ASMR?
Hi there. Welcome to the Sickos Committee podcast.
Oh, did I
What
make the
is-
joke? I was not attempting to make the joke.
Oh, I
What
thought
is
you were
it?
trying to make a joke. I thought you were making a joke.
Oh, what's the thing?
ASMR is, I forget what it actually stands for, but
Well, I mean, my version of ASMR is Corvallis Love.
it's that kind of
It's
sound that
ready
makes
for
like
what
the
Are
hair on
you
the
ready
back
for
of
what
your
it
neck
stands
stand
for?
up, like certain sounds.
It's supposed to induce frisson, so sometimes it's like people whispering into the
It's
mic.
the,
Or like people
the-
running their
the-
fingers over the microphone.
Can I do like that weird sheet metal noise over and over again, like the?
No.
noise.
Some people,
Oh, the like rain noise where you
The
flick
rain
your...
noise.
and then this crosses over weirdly into like sort of fetish subculture. It's like there's some like weird combination. Right, it gets weird.
Well, it's someone's kink, so
Yeah, everything is someone's kink.
Okay, so I typed in ASR in my Spotify
Yeah.
like search bar, the first thing that came up was ASMR, wet, messy, sloppy sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Oh no.
I don't know if
No,
I want to
thank
click
you.
further. I kind of do. I don't know what. I
Is
don't know what's gonna
Jaharp
come up next.
ASMR asking for a friend?
I mean, for some people it is. Y'all, how about this? We could become an advice podcast. Have we considered that?
I'm down. Honestly, I'm gonna just put this out here right now. I'm not sure what's the best way to get a hold of us. Like formally for advice. I guess maybe like email.
Probably.
Yeah, somebody
Email
sent us
us.
an email about something. I have no idea what that
Comment
meant.
on our MySpace.
Send us an email. Put in the subject line like advice and podcast.
Sicko wisdom.
We can keep it anonymous. Unless you put a bunch of details in your message that make it clear. You can't write in and be like, I am struggling to coach the Kentucky men's basketball team. Like, we'll know who you are.
We'll
but
know who
like,
you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
But like, yeah,
Coach Cal, you're still listening.
Coach
I'm
Cal.
having trouble posting hundreds of millions of dollars of bond.
yeah. So
Oh my God.
if you want to send us any advice, I mean,
Wait, don't send us
like-
advice. We'll give you advice.
right?
Send us a
Like
question.
send
They
us
already
questions.
send us advice. It's the worst.
It's
Send
not
us
good.
any questions you have. Like, I mean, like keep it tasteful, but just like advice and podcast. Put that in the subject. Send it in. You can say like whether you want us to say your name on the podcast or not, and we will give you terrible advice.
Cool. We're Dear Hank and John now.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's not the worst direction to go in.
No,
If-
that's
if-
a great
if we're not-
podcast. I can't wait to give updates about Mars news.
If we're not going to go, if Hello Internet is not the direction we're choosing to go, Dear Hank and John is also acceptable.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say we will only do this during the off season. So even if you have like advice, if you think you're gonna need advice on something like during football season, like you better ask us now while we have the time.
We should do an all advice episode one of these days. That's
Sorry, I'm too busy watching UConn football to give you advice.
Yeah, we just can't do that.
I'm just gonna ask Podcat and then shake him like a magic 8-ball until the answer comes out.
I mean, that seems to be the correct way to do things. That's how
I mean, I assume the answer is going to be meow.
You never know.
the answer is going to be and just screaming. How about the topic of something called clueless content?
That's the
Well,
show.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we are.
That's-
We're not experts. We're not professionals.
If you're not sure what we mean by this, have a think about which topics you know nothing about. Got one. Now actually try to learn it. That's not,
Okay, what
Nice try.
That's
what-
the show.
Yeah.
what islands are in
Jordan.
Oceania?
Oh God, let's not. Yeah, there's arguments. for that.
Solomon Islands,
Okay, we got that. Maybe the Marshall Islands.
Tonga, Fiji,
Shout,
Hawaii.
Samoa,
shout out Vanuatu.
Yeah, Kiribati.
Noai. No, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Niue, thank you. Christmas Island.
Neville Island.
there's
Sorry,
Long
there's
Island.
a
Pink-
like
there's
3
Pink
Mile
geography.
Island.
Pitt
You
Karen.
said the Neville Island? Is that where the Neville brothers are from?
No, it's
no, that's where Neville from Harry Potter's from. Actually.
Oh,
No, that's where if you're familiar with the Robert Morris hockey team, their like dome that they have that's like inflatable. That like I feel like every time there's a big storm, like that's the headline that you know is a big storm is if the dome collapsed.
Yep.
the bubble has unbubbled.
the bubble has bursted.
It's where Puddles was born. Puddles is from Neville Island.
Was he born in the dome?
Not as far as I know. He predates the dome by a bit.
I'm just glad, y'all, that I could help bring some order to this podcast. I think going forward, we need to have cute little quippy segments.
I think you fixed it.
I think I fixed this podcast. I'm going to keep trying to
Totally.
fix it even more. If I need to come up with more segments to create structure, I'm more than happy to. You know me. I love coming up with new ideas that are bad. So I'm just here to, much like how I do in my own life, I'm here to provide order and calmness and stability. Yes.
Sure.
It's something I often do in my own life, as you guys know. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally.
kids. What else do we have? Anything else?
I feel like we didn't like talk about Troy Dannon much. like we talked about where he's from, but like he was like, I mean, he was the AD that was responsible for bringing back the Angry Wave to Tulane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he hired Willie Fritz. There's a story that it's unverified on Reddit I wanted to talk about, but we totally skipped over that.
I'm sorry.
So I have no idea if this is true or not, but again, it's posted in Huskers by Accident Hungry 5542. I don't want to look at that. So apparently Washington was hosting a booster fundraiser in Palm Springs the other day. Dannon was running the event as an AD, and he was in a foursome playing golf. Not any other ASMR weird. I have to clear my search history after that. My God. But he was in a foursome with three of Washington's biggest donors to the NIL. And Troy apparently spent the day talking about how broke the Washington athletic program was with the NIL big money donors. And then on the 15th hole, Troy excused himself to take a phone call and never came back. The three donors were told when they got back to the clubhouse that he had quit and he had already left the resort. So it sounds like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he expected to see Freddie Funkhauser in the background. So,
well, and that's what, at least why I brought up the Tommy Tuberville comparison.
Yes,
Tommy Tuberville famously left Texas Tech in the middle of a dinner with a recruit. He just like left. So, I honestly, it's a very awkward situation to leave 5 months into any job like that.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I mean, there's certain times, like, I mean, even when, like, you'll have coaches more so than ADs, right? Like the coaches where it's like, oh, they took that job for a week, right? Like, wasn't Petrino was like offensive coordinator somewhere for a week
for UNLV
before,
for 3 weeks,
for UNLV. Yes. Actually, because the
3
two
weeks.
examples I'm thinking of are both UNLV, I think. But
look, sometimes you get banned by half the casinos on the Strip in a week, and you got to skip town.
Yeah,
Manny Diaz was head coach at Temple for actually like 10 days.
A week.
Yes.
The Manny Diaz
it's stuff like that. But like, I feel like athletic director is not really that's not a position like coaching, right? Like that's so much more administrative. Where like that I feel is more unusual. But like also for being at Washington only 5 months, like he did a lot. He hired a football coach and fired He didn't actually finish the basketball thing. He just fired the coach and left.
He didn't hire. It was like, I fired this coach for you guys. Y'all can hire the new one.
You do the next part, yeah.
But,
you can do the next part.
But yeah, so he did. He was the one that brought in Jed Fish.
Yeah.
But like also, I guess it does make sense that like he basically like started this booster event by telling all these boosters about how broke Washington is, and then like being like, yep, like Washington's so broke, I'm leaving for a job at a school that has money.
How broke? But it's funny. It's in the same conference now, which is great.
That's a stable and well-adjusted school like Nebraska.
Stable and well-adjusted school like Nebraska. Which I mean, I hope, there could be some fun mascot to bring back. Bring back Corn Man, like you brought back the Angry Wave at Tulane.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Bring back like a giant corn mascot on the sidelines. Just bring it back. Just do it. Yeah, I mean, just go right ahead and do that, because that is basically what Nebraska needs. They need to go back to the further history, but ahead of like what's before Herbie arrived. So got to bring something like that. But his 5-month tenure was incredible. Like, I mean, he got like the team went to the CFP. They won the Pac-12 the last year. They got to the CFP title game. Then their coach left for Bama, which is kind of weird. You wonder like the money thing, which I know this is kind of serious topic here, but like I mean, Kalen DeBoer is getting like $10 million a year at Bama, and he was making $4 million at Washington. So
right,
the money part, maybe, I don't know, maybe accurate, but it's just weird. These millennials nowadays, they're just job hopping. So,
Yeah, I mean, Washington, I we joke, and I feel like it is kind of like they have money in terms of like, if you look at how much revenue they have coming in, it's like, yeah, like they're making a lot of money, but like relative to a lot of the other schools in the Big Ten, because they're not getting the full share yet. they are less financially well off than a lot of their peers now. And Oregon is able to cover that some with their booster, but Washington doesn't really have that. I mean, like they're not like broke like they have more money than like any G5 or like any school in. I mean, I don't know. There's some rich Big 12 schools and stuff like that, but like they are relatively broke compared to who they are supposed to be playing with.
Congratulations, Washington. You're fancy Rutgers.
Yep.
Hey,
Rutgers
folks,
with brain.
With that,
Purple.
guys.
Purple and gold Rutgers.
Hey, folks, that's what we got for tonight. We will see y'all on Tuesday. Have a good one.
I can ASMR.